about the heavy stuff like that, but I got a lot of positive feedback. And so when you are talking about really heavy stuff like that, especially since I want to help people with the stuff I'll talk about, I want to make sure I'm healing and helping. So, especially when I was talking about my childhood and the things that happened to me, I want to make sure that I help other parents. So, definitely wanted to educate and come with facts. So, I looked up, statistics, and according to justicefirm.com, 1 in 53 boys are sexually abused in school. And so I did the in school statistics as well as at home. And less than 10% are abused by strangers. So as much as people are afraid of their children being abused by strangers, it's more likely to happen by a family member. And 46.7% of children under 7 are sexually molested. So only advice I can give is just, please, parents, pay attention. I know that, unfortunately, we have to work. We have to, unfortunately, leave our kids with people. I've always been very, because I've worked evening shifts, I worked all shifts, but I've been able to look at my kids and tell if something's wrong with them. And I've always had a very open communication with my boys. So I can look at them and see, if something's bothering them. So I'm not definitely a perfect parent by far, but I have always tried to, just be careful who you leave your kids around. And, obviously life happens. I definitely know that, we can't always protect them from everything, but just be careful because these statistics don't lie. And so just be careful. With that being said, like I said, I did kind of blow past that. It's not an easy topic for anybody, especially a parent. But I definitely wanted to help people with this. But hope you guys like today's music. It was more upbeat, fun. We will definitely get back into, my life, step through that. But I definitely want to I don't want this to be such a heavy thing. So I want to come back, I still want to talk about other things. It's not going to all be about me. I want to be, talk about what the world is going through and stuff like that. So today's topic is going to be about, am I my sister's keeper? And toxic femininity. And that is big because I have been a toxic woman, girl, all the above. And we have a lot in society. So as of today, 2022, people are making big money off of preaching to women. People make big money, period, off of preaching to people's pain. Let's be clear. Whether it's church, whether it's books, whether it's whoever, people, everything I scroll is women this, women got to do this, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to stick to women because I'm a woman. I do not believe in people telling the opposite sex what they need to do. Now, I have sons. I know my sons, so I will give them advice, but I also have a husband. And there are some times when I tell my husband, can you talk to my son? Because he can give him a man perspective. But he is my husband. He's not their natural father, so more than likely, I'm going to take the head on it, but I will also go to him for things. But anyway, statistics, because I want to be very big on this. I want to have structure in this, so I'm a very structured person. So let's get into it. 70% of women have admitted to being bullied in the workplace. This is not even at school. Women are passive aggressive. They sabotaged each other. They're jealous, competitive. They try to compete with each other, backstab each other, all that. Um, we've all dealt with it. I know I've dealt with it. Just, you know, I've dealt with it. I was in the military. I mean, when you were in the military, some of my military friends can attest to this. I have tried to combat that behavior. And, as I said in episode 1, we moved a lot. So I went to a lot of new schools. Girls wouldn't like me just because I showed up. So I've always been the new girl. So when I would meet a new girl, I would try to be nice to them. And I know the girls that have known me, especially in the military, I've befriended them because I know what it's like to be the new girl. I'm always like, I'm gonna be nice to you, but I'm gonna observe who you are and your actions before I just come off because I'm very, if a person's mean just for no reason, you got issues. And so, I just don't get that. So, on the am I my sister's keeper thing, one of the trend that I've been seeing a lot is, that bothers me is women, telling people how you should keep a man, what you need to do. You cannot tell somebody how to keep a man. I don't know why y'all buy into this. If a man is going to leave, he's going to leave. There's nothing you could do to make him stay. Me and my husband, when we got together, I had a lot of work. We both had work to do on ourselves. We got married. We were in our 40s when we got married, actually, and we still were working on ourselves. And we made a commitment, and it's still a commitment every day to grow. We were dating for 8 years before we got married, because when we started dating, we wasn't even trying to get married. We had both been married before. So when you come into a relationship, you can't come with these expectations of someone to, that's toxic behavior already, where you come and expect somebody to do things for you. If you're coming with that, your marriage is going to have problems right off the bat. So with that being said, women, constantly judging each other and constantly, telling each other what we should do to keep this man, keep that man. I can't stand it. It's almost nauseating, telling women how they should dress, telling women I'm so sick of the catty behavior. And, when I look at myself, like I said, when I came in my relationship, I didn't even realize I had so much hurt in me. And that was one reason why, I even started doing this and working on myself, because I was jumping from relationship to relationship after what I endured in my childhood. I really didn't even like men or anybody for that matter. I mean, I've had a friend since the 4th grade, but other than her, I really didn't trust nobody like that. And I didn't get close to people like that because I didn't want to be hurt. And so when people would hurt me, I'd push them away easy. And I was so caught up in being cold. That was going to be my work progress. That's all I wanted to do. So every marriage I had, I was sabotaged. And every marriage, because I had only known to be cold and violent, and I didn't know how to communicate with people, women or men, I would cut you off. I was that catty, toxic girl, judging people. Now that I'm older, I can say nobody can take my man by how they dress. These women that get intimidated by women that dress sexy and say oh, she's turning my husband's man. That's the problem I have with church. They say if a woman's dressed provocative, you're enticing my husband. That if your husband is going to cheat on you because he can't see another woman dressed provocative, that is not the man for you. Sorry. I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous at this point. I just feel like we have to do a better job at self-reflection. I know me back in the day, like I said, I had commitment issues big time. I was not staying in no relationships. When I got into this marriage, like I always tell my husband, I was on a date before I met him. I wasn't trying to get like serious. And my husband came in on the scene and he was like all polite, like, pardon me, if you're still interested in me, can we go out? It took him 2 weeks to text me, and I was just like, whatever, dude, sure. Because I was really using dudes for free food. I wasn't even interested in dating. And so when I met him, I wasn't into him like that. And he was so kind and nice. And I was just like, and I was a mean. And I was like, and his niceness made me be kinder. And it was almost like, he was so nice that it made me like really change, honestly, because he was nice. And I was just like, what's wrong with him? But he really changed me for the better. And then when I started to get better and love him, it was like, then he started, like, I started really like loving on him. And then he started changing because he wasn't used to getting loved on. And he'll comment on that one day. He says he's going to do a podcast with me. We'll see. But he wasn't used to being loved on because he'd been in a toxic relationship before me. So, it made him change, but he had to self-reflect. And like I said, relationships require self-reflection. It was nothing. I mean, when I came in the relationship, I was treating him right. I wasn't like but I was cold because I had dealt with so much childhood trauma. I was dealing with, molestation. I was dealing with domestic violence. I was dealing with so many demons from my past that when he would try to get close to me, even sometimes when he hold me, I just, don't touch me, because sometimes it's just the PTSD from the trauma I went through. It does and did affect our relationship. And at that time, I really couldn't. Sometimes, like, telling that story over and over again, it gets old. And you don't like being the victim. And then sometimes, like,